Hi there, this is Ronnie coming at you with a video. Interesting thing that's been happening during my sessions, and I thought I would sort of bring it up as a topic because I think it's interesting. Well, I find it interesting, hopefully you do as well. There have been times where my players have gotten into a situation and there are NPCs that they can talk to. And they seem very downhearted when the NPC that they're talking to doesn't have information which is pertinent to what they're after. And I found myself wondering if maybe this is a hang-up from sort of RPG and adventure games on computers and consoles, where due to obvious memory constraints and limitations and so on, NPCs will invariably have pertinent information about the ongoing story. But that's not real life. And whilst we could never claim that an RPG represents real life, we can certainly inject the reality that not every NPC that they're going to meet is going to have that important information that they desperately need in order to proceed with the story. I don't work it that way. And it gets a little frustrating. And I say frustrating because it's frustrating to me because the players will ask complete strangers who clearly would never know information. And then when they don't get the information, as has happened in one case recently, the person asking the question was convinced as one has to know something. I mean, they have to know something. Which is similar to what happened a couple of years ago when I had a player playing Shinetar. It's the first half of my campaign, and one of the players who was sort of new to role-playing at the time was surprised when there was a battle going on in the distance, nowhere near where the players were. I mean, they would have to trek some way to actually get involved if they wanted to get involved, and the battle wasn't coming to them. But that player was surprised that there was this battle going on, and it was just background noise. It was telling the players that the world was happening, whether they were in it or not. Sometimes I think, and I think this is because of console games and computer games, where you are the center, and because you are the center, everything is revolving around you. If you're involved in any story, every interaction must have relevance to the story, and that's simply not how it works. Things are going to happen out with your control, or if you're in point A and you're nowhere near point B, something can happen in point B. It's not waiting for the players to get there before it happens. You know, they're not. It's not like the Truman Show where they're all standing in position 1 until Truman kind of drives into work, and then they all, right, places please, and action, and everyone moves to give Truman the illusion that it's all it's real life rather than huge studio TV show. And if you haven't seen that movie, do please watch it. It's very, very good. But this idea that every NPC must have some link to the story, some pertinent information. Maybe I'm alone. Maybe other people don't have that problem. If you do, I'd love to hear your how you deal with it. I've gotten to the point where I have had to sort of step back and just say, right, players, just because there's an NPC there and just because you can interact with that NPC doesn't mean that NPC is going to have the information you're hopefully looking for. They might, but there's no guarantee. And this notion that because there is an NPC, they must have information. Otherwise, why are they there? That seems to be the mentality, and it's wrong. That mentality is wrong. You can speak to the blacksmith. It doesn't necessarily mean that the blacksmith is going to know pertinent information. So yeah, give me your thoughts on this. I'm intrigued by it. This notion that NPCs are to order. That, like a video game, unless they have purpose directly involved in the storyline, they shouldn't be there. Whereas the world is people. The world must be populated by people who have nothing to do with the storyline. I mean, the example recently, there had been a murder. One of the characters was in a room full of other party guests. It happened at a garden party, and they were in this room with a whole load of guests. And most of those guests, the vast majority of them, first he wanted to see if anyone was looking shifty. Well, they were all sitting there for hours and blooming pissed off because they wanted to be in the they wanted to be home. So they're all sort of sitting there going, hell. So he's looking at the ones who look the shiftiest, the ones who look like they really don't want to be there, and he starts interrogating them. Which, okay, fair enough. But he started to get a little frustrated because they didn't have any information. And it was almost as if he seemed a little confused by the fact that they didn't have any information. Otherwise, why was that NPC there? And I'm like, just because an NPC is there doesn't mean they have information. They just, it was a garden party with lots of people attending. Not all those people are going to have information. So I'm kind of fighting against this mentality, and I just want to know: am I alone in this? Let me know. It'd be interesting to hear your views on this. So that's me. Few thoughts. Come back, give me your ideas, and I'll be back with you with another video.